Done. Hey everybody, it took me 2 years, but I finally got a piece of furniture to store all of my CDs. Other people have things like 401ks or a functioning gallbladder. I have Guns N' Roses' The Spaghetti Incident. And I don't even know where I got it. But you know what all these albums remind me of? That's right, albums, which means only one thing. Welcome back to the Quick Review Basharoo. For those new to the series, this is where I give my rapid-fire thoughts on the latest album releases. The last time I did one of these videos was back in November of last year, so today's QRB is going to cover 3 months worth of albums. After this one though, they'll go back to being monthly. Let me know what you think of these records, along with any other ones I should cover next time, in the comments below. Hi, a quick word from Editor Mike before we get into this. If you're wondering where they are, the new Julian Baker, Cloud Nothings, and King Gizzard records were released the day that this video is coming out, and I didn't want to try to rush reviews for them, so I'll cover them in the next QRB. I'm sorry if anybody's bummed by that, but until labels start answering my emails and base their release schedule off what a random guy online wants, there's not much I can do. I'm also recording this when I'm about 5 subscribers away from hitting 100,000, and by the time this video goes out, I will have passed that milestone. To be honest, I had things planned for when that happened, but they were all contingent on me hitting that milestone in like spring or summer. So this has been fun. Those things will happen this year, but in the meantime, I hope that a massive, heartfelt, humongous, outrageous thank you will suffice until then. I don't really know what else I can say aside from the fact that I am the luckiest crazy frog historian on the damn internet. But I do have other things planned, so I hope, just thank you. On with the show.
On top of spaghetti, all covered with cheese.
Taylor Swift, Evermore. What if Taylor Swift made a Baroque pop album and got like John Bryan or one of the Desner brothers to produce it? She could keep Jack Antonoff and Max Martin and even Ed Sheeran if she wanted to. Like, I feel like they could fit. Hi, Taylor. I was worried about this one being a glorified B-sides record, and the first couple of songs actually confirmed that worry for me. I didn't click with this immediately. But it was around the middle of the record, the one song with Haim specifically, where things turned around for me. Where Folklore felt like a solid compromise between the pop and singer-songwriter sides of Swift, this began to feel more... I'm not gonna call a Taylor Swift album experimental, but it opened up more avenues that I think she could explore further on the next record. Also, it's been 2 months, but the novelty of a Taylor Swift song featuring The National has not worn off on me yet. I feel reasonably comfortable calling this the amnesiac to Folklore's Kid A, which would chronologically make Lover her OK nope, I don't like this comparison anymore. Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon, Volume 3. To quote the man himself, The Avalanches, we will always love you. Any of you who keep up with the gossip and the tabloid sites might remember that I put this on my honorable mentions for my top 10 albums list last year, because man, this one knocked my socks off. I loved Since I Left You, Wildflower was fine, but on this it feels like they found a perfect marriage between their plunderphonic roots and the more collaborative spirit they were going for on Wildflower, plus striking an emotional resonance that I really didn't think they were capable of. Also Space, don't forget Space. I'm not gonna say that they topped Since I Left You, but I'm the most excited I've been for their future since that record. Paul McCartney, McCartney 3. I feel like I'm the only guy on the internet who's talking about this McCartney dude. This new record of his that he put out during quarantine is a good time. Man, I don't know if this guy's got any other bands or projects that he's worked with, but this makes me want to go check him out. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Playboi Carti, Whole Lotta Red. This one made me feel like I drank a 10-gallon bucket of codeine and Adderall and went on an all-night bender, but then I woke up the next morning and discovered that I had accomplished every single life goal I'd ever set for myself. Is that good? Maybe, but God, at what cost?
When somebody sneezes, get rolled on.
Jazmine Sullivan, Hotels. Oh, hell yeah! I know this is just technically an EP, but man, Jazmine just set the bar so high for albums in 2021.
Viagra Boys, Welfare Jazz.
As an album with songs that you listen to, I thought this had flickers of greatness, but was mostly fine. As an indicator of their live shows though, oh yeah, the second that concerts are a thing again, I am buying all the stock I can in Viagra Boys. Yes, hi, CEO of Money. I'd like to invest all my funds in Viagra Boys. Yeah, it doesn't mean the same thing when you drop the boys.
Shame, Drunk Tank Pink.
While I enjoyed Shame's debut back in 2018, I think, I was worried that from there on out they would just be a one-trick pony. But this new record of theirs has them honing their skills while lyrically tackling isolation and what it means to feel truly alone. Too bad I can't relate.
Sleaford Mods, Spare Ribs.
Wow, this was just the absolute worst way to be introduced to Sleaford Mods.
Rhye, Home.
The last time I talked about a Rhye album, I described it as a very sensual trip to Olive Garden, and I'm happy to report that this new record of theirs is basically the same. But this time, they added a children's choir. If there's one thing that makes unlimited breadsticks better, it's singing kids.
Madlib, Sound Ancestors.
I'm so happy to announce that I finally submitted my resume to be Madlib's auditory cortex. To hear the world as he does, to pull together new sounds and create something new out of them, I think I would be a great addition to his mind. Now granted, I am just a random man on the internet, but I'm totally willing to be the one to break that glass ceiling for all of us, so wish me luck.
Ashnikko, DEMIDEVIL.
25% the most annoying thing I've heard all year, but 75%, this girl is gonna get a TikTok hit in the next 2 years and become the hyperpop Doja Cat.
ZAYN, Nobody Is Listening.
God damn it, this was gonna be so easy. I would have said something like, I'll give ZAYN this, that album title is right on the money, it would have been amazing, everyone would love me, but this was actually all right. It's not amazing, but I enjoyed more on this than I expected to. ZAYN, I'm listening. Mike is listening.
Weezer, OK Human.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I didn't hate anything on here, but I also can't remember too much of it even after multiple listens, except for those times when Rivers mentions Zoom interviews, and also Blackpink, I think. I guess it's their best album since the White Album, but man, it really only feels like it's earning that title by doing the absolute bare minimum.
And then my poor meatball was nothing but you.
Foo Fighters, Medicine at Midnight.
Even with the slight, and I mean slight, lean towards pop and dance, this is the exact record Foo Fighters have been making for the past decade. But let me be real here, I grew up on Guitar Hero soundtracks and my brother's iPod that was chock full of classic rock. I was going to enjoy this on some level regardless of how derivative it was.
Black Country, New Road, for the first time.
Photo from Unsplash. You know what, this gives me an idea. Here are a bunch of photos I found on Unsplash that reflect my feelings when listening to this album.
Slowthai, TYRON.
I know Slowthai's whole shtick is supposed to be bold and brash, but honestly, the second, more intimate half of this record blew the first half straight out of the water. The production opens up more, his vocals have a greater ability to command attention, it doesn't have a song called Cancelled. What's not to love?
JPEGMAFIA, EP2.
And speaking of energetic artists adopting a more spacious production, damn, Peggy!
Florida Georgia Line, Life Rolls On. weather station. Ignorance.
The grooves on this thing! Going into this, I was expecting something warm and beautifully recorded, but I was not expecting to tap my foot so much. Who made this? Grooved from Groovians of the Grulixy? Grooves from Legend of Zelda Grooveward Sword? Grooves Clues?
Django Django, glowing in the dark.
The reviews for this one had me thinking it was going to be more than just another Django Django album. Turns out, it is just another Django Django album, and I'm only going to punch a few holes in my wall, but still, I enjoyed it.
Mogwai, as the love continues.
Really enjoyed this one, and it got me thinking, why have I not checked out these guys before?
Years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running.
Wild Pink, A Billion Little Lights.
An album that sonically captures immense beauty in the world around us, while also reminding us of the crucial impermanence of our fleeting experiences that make them worth living. I liked it, but I probably won't come back to it.
Another Michael, new music and big pop.
A delightful little slice of poppy indie folk. I think you'll enjoy this if you like Big Thief or that one Great Grandpa record from 2019. I really wanted to mention this one though because while the band's based in Philly now, they come from Albany, New York, which is only a few miles away from where I grew up. I can just see them now getting snacks at their local Stewart's, maybe getting a car to transport all their gear from their local Billy Fusillo dealership, maybe even grinding their teeth at venues like The Egg. Ah, memories.
Cory Wong, Cory and the Wong Notes.
If you're at all a fan of Wolfpack, I mean, you probably already know who Cory Wong is, but if you're a fan of that kind of funk music, I think you'll really dig this new album of his. Though I will say, you probably will enjoy this more if you also watch the variety series that he's been doing for the past 2 months. All of the songs from this record come from that series. It's a kind of niche musician humor that I did not know was missing in my life.
Hey, can you give me an E? Sure thing! Thanks.
Black Dresses, Forever in Your Heart.
Is it possible for an album to be wholly uninviting, but also the perfect place to start with an artist's body of work? I have no idea, but this makes me think it is.
Hayley Williams, Flowers for Vases / Descansos.
A surprise album from Hayley Williams following her first studio record from last year, Why Am I Making These Hand Motions? This was a nice surprise. It's not as adventurous as Petals for Armor was, which makes sense because this one was recorded at home during quarantine, but it makes for a nice companion to that record, or at the very least just a nice way to cozy up and spend 40 minutes. That said, I am very much ready for the next Paramore album, which is good because Hayley is too. The real question here though is would I feel comfortable putting this album next to Guns N' Roses' The Spaghetti Incident in my CD collection? Well, no, out of sheer principle, but thankfully it would actually go next to Hanson's Middle of Nowhere. Really dodged a bullet on that one.